Danielle Hill, a writer and editor for the Gulf Shore Business Magazine, wrote for the American Prospect in July of 2018 that the second most common living arrangement is single parents living with their children. Over 1 million children live with a single parent. Many of you guys in this room live with either your dad, your mom, or both of your parents. Imagine what it'd be like for you if you lived with the opposite, so you lived with only one parent instead of two, or two parents instead of one. Children that grow up with a single parent often have a harder time. First, I will explain the causes of single parenting. Second, the negative effects single parenting has on children. And finally, the positive effects single parenting has on children. First, let's talk about what causes single parenting. According to Dr. Talbot, an associate professor for family medicine and pediatrics at the University of Toronto, and a physician at the Mount Sinai Hospital, wrote for the U.S. National Library of Medicine on September 31st that divorce, separation, and non-married parents have surpassed death. 65% of single parents are due to divorce. Kids ages 2 to 6 have a harder time with divorce. Kids ages 7 to 12 are more likely to be okay with it, or not okay with it, but accept it because they have better communication skills. Adolescents have the hardest time with divorce. They don't like change, and they often turn away from their family when it happens. 32% of single-parent households are due to death of another spouse. Now that I talked about the cause of single parenting, next I'll talk about negative effects single parenting has on children. According to Marnie Knuns, a writer for fitness, health, and lifestyle, wrote for the Livestrong website on April 18th that psychological effects happen to children when they are living with a single parent. They are twice as likely to drop out of high school, 2.5 times more likely to become pregnant, and they have a lower GPA, lower college aspirations, and they have lower attendance. Their self-esteem is another big problem. Most people get their sense of security at home, but these kids most likely don't get that. They have lower expectations for everything. Their parents might not give them enough attention, so when they're doing something really good, they don't get praised for it, so they think they're not good enough. They also spend a lot of time alone, which creates a lot of loneliness. And some kids think that if their own parents can't love them, how can anyone else? Now that I talked about the negative effects single parenting has on children, next I'll talk about the positive effects. Some people excel well with only being with single parents. They have more responsibilities, they get taught to be independent early on. They have to do chores at home, and they might have to look after younger siblings because their parents are at work. They also become closer with other family members. Grandparents and aunts might step up and take the role of the second parent. They go to their games, they take them to appointments, and they often babysit them. Kids from young ages that live in single households often handle disappointment a lot better than others. They're used to being disappointed at young ages, so it's easier for them to handle it as they get older. Now, as you can see, there's both negative and positive effects to single parenting, and it affects children differently. First, I explained what causes single parenting. Second, the negative effects single parenting has on children. And finally, positive effects single parenting has on children. Children that grow up in a single-parent household often have a harder time in life. As you can see, single parenting is tough on children. Some of you might have both parents, and you should not take that for granted. And if you do only have one parent, be thankful for them too.